Dean here with Escape to Gaming. I'm really pumped to talk about the new upcoming PlayStation 4 launch. For me, that's personally the one that I chose. I chose very early on, the first day of E3. Again, you have to go out on faith. There's no way of knowing. It could be a complete flop. Sony could have some real problems with the initial, down for day one patch and firmware installation. I don't know what I know that Xbox One also will have the same issues. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I took a chance. I took a calculated risk. I said, you know what? For what my gaming needs are and for what I'm looking for in games, which is realism and adventure, I want something that's going to have the best graphics possible. It looks like there might be a slight edge, with the PlayStation 4. That's not to say that down the road that things couldn't change within the Xbox One or the PS4 for even better graphics. I mean, I remember seeing the original, in fact, where is it here? I had it Call of Duty 2. When I first saw that, it's right here. It's a wonderful game. I thought the graphics were incredible. The game was immersive and amazing. I saw it actually on my friend's console before I even bought an Xbox 360 in '09 and was blown away. And that was in the early stages of that console. So, and I mean, I never realized that it would get even better. So, and I think we're going to see the same thing. Just as there was that radical shift from the games back, in 06 and 07 and 08 and 09. I mean, Wolfenstein, as much as I love it, the graphics look even better on the games today. So, within the same console cycle. So I think we're going to see more of that. We're going to see even better Xbox One games with even more killer graphics. So they'll probably, the developers will learn how to maximize the hardware to get the most out of those games. And the same with the PlayStation 4. So I'm really excited about that. Again, I probably won't be able to afford a PC gaming rig. Maybe down the road I can. So my next computer is going to be really, it's all about editing and just a basic PC that can handle my basic PC needs. I wasn't really planning on using it for gaming. So this is a big treat for me. I'm really excited about this PlayStation 4. This is the first new console I've had, God, since the PlayStation 2 back in '01, which I bought the day it came out. I was so hyped, so excited. I got Twisted Metal Black. I literally played that for 4 months straight before I even bought any other games. It was kind of broke. I scraped up every dime I had to buy that console and was very excited. Just seeing that new box, opening it up and seeing that wonderful, design of really a radical change from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2. Now, I didn't get the PlayStation 1 on the opening day that it was available, but the first week. It was within like 3 or 4 days of when that console launch was. Now, again, back then, we didn't have the internet. And you had like the TVs. Sony had some really cool ads. I had already planned for over 9 months of getting the Panasonic 3DO. That was it. That's all I wanted. And then I started seeing these Sony ads and then reading articles. I think it was Electronic Gaming Monthly or something early on. I mean, there was really only one gaming magazine I read, and that was it. I go into gaming stores and just stare at the games and was excited and intrigued with the Amiga. Now, even going back to '87, I had friends that had, the Amiga, and I had another friend that had the Commodore 64, and I was there for that and enjoyed the Commodore 64. Not for the Commodore 64 launch, actually, probably a couple of years after it came out. But I loved it. That was my first console. It was well over $500, which would be like, probably paying $1,200 today for a console, if you can believe it. That was a lot of money back then. I bought it at Sears, of all places. And I was very excited, and I got silent service that first night, stayed up all night and played it, and I played Paperboy. I think I went back to the game store the next day, bought Paperboy, and I think Spy vs. Spy or some other really cool arcade kind of style game at the time. But those were wonderful memories of that Commodore 64, and I wouldn't even get rid of the box, Plus, I would go to Fresno from LA quite often to see my folks and friends there, and I'd, lovingly pack it back up in the box with the styrofoam, bring it up with me with a little RCA cable, plug it in their TV, and play games, show my friends the games, and they loved it. So it was a big treat. So when the PlayStation 1 came around, it was really a big thing. Again, we didn't have all the internet and the hype, so you kind of took a chance. You didn't know too much about it. If you're lucky enough to find a gaming magazine back then, usually I go to like a bookstore where they had a good magazine section. I'd find a couple good gaming magazines, and I'd go through and just sit and sift through and read articles about the new PlayStation 1 coming out, the PSX, and was very excited. So I went through quite a few of those. I actually burned one out in a few months and ended up having to buy another one right off the bat. That one lasted quite a while, and eventually it went out and got another one. And I think I bought my daughter one as well. And then the PlayStation 4, I actually went through several of those too. Because they kept kind of changing, developing as the tech was getting better. It was all new. But it was just so exciting being there for that first PlayStation 1. Just opening it up and seeing the design of it. It was so exciting. I mean, it was just like, I felt like I bought a brand new, IROC Camaro or a new Corvette or something. I mean, it just had that kind of excitement around it. And then when the PlayStation 2 came out again, it was just so epic, and it's just wonderful how they changed the industrial design of it, how it looked black with the little ribs. You could stand it vertical like a little computer tower. I always like to lay mine flat. I still lay my consoles flat today. It was very cool. So those are wonderful console memories, and I'm glad I was there for the launch of the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. And then I went through changes where I couldn't afford swing the expensive PlayStation 3 at the time. I still was barely on the internet by the time the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, so I kind of missed, that first launch day, all the hype and all that, because I barely was on the internet. My wife was really more acclimated with it, and I kind of look over her shoulder. And when she had time, check this out for me, and I want to check out this new PlayStation, 3 coming out. I just read a couple things on it, and it seemed a little pricey at the time. So I waited. Same thing with the Xbox 360. I love the regular Xbox so much. I would pretty much decide, I said, I'm going to get an Xbox 360, I think, before getting the PS3, which is exactly what I did. But again, then people were getting greedy and putting them on eBay for $1,200 and $1,100 and even $1,000. The price was getting down to $900 on, the PS3. I'm like, God, I could almost get one, and I had the money to buy them, but my wife and I both, we always go over our budgets together, and I can't just spend money crazily like a drunken sailor. I have to think about, her and, our overall budget for the household, car payments and all that stuff. I mean, I had 3 car payments at the time back then, which was, $1,500 a month, plus my mortgage payment was another $2,400 a month. So I had a lot of money going out. I had a big nut to crack every month. Southern California was expensive, so for me to go out and spend $1,000 on a gaming console and then, games and stuff, it was just too much. I couldn't do it. So I waited a couple months, and then the price was dropping down to like $800 for them on eBay. And they didn't plan on it. I think that the high demand, or maybe they intentionally only produced so many to kind of create the hype. I don't know, but they were still out of reach. And then eventually I just waited too long. I said, the hell with it. I'll just keep the current generation. I got many friends right now that are kind of doing that same thing. They're in no hurry to get an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. I validate your concerns about that. Some of you are apprehensive about the new games, the new technology. I certainly understand that. I'm not thrilled with this online thing. It kind of has to be online more or less all the time. That's pretty much how, frankly, the current consoles have been. You really need those updates and patches, or the games are unplayable. If I try to in fact, my nephew doesn't have and never has had Xbox Live, so when he borrowed my Dead Island and tried to play it, he went through 85% of the game. I mean, God knows how many hours, probably 70, 80 hours into it. And then he had a save file corruption because he never got that day 1 patch. He was screwed. Couldn't play the game again, put a bad taste in his mouth. When I got the game back, was anxious to play it. I didn't even really want to play it at that point. But, I mean, supposedly the patch took care of that. And so I understand people's apprehensions about getting these gaming consoles early on. So I'm just going to wait and see. Some aren't real delighted with the launch lineup. I'm not real thrilled about the launch lineup of, frankly, either one of them initially, but I'm just happy a couple new generation, next-gen games or new-gen games are coming out that I can dive right into. The Killzone Shadowfall looks awesome. Wonderful graphics. I think it'll really showcase the potential of the PlayStation 4 early on, perhaps like Call of Duty 2 did for the Xbox 360. So, and, the NAC one actually looks pretty good. It's kind of growing on me. I'm not real thrilled with that type of game, but I like the graphics. I like that it's something new. It's kind of innovative with its new style of gameplay. And so we'll see. I'll kind of watch that, kind of wait and see the actual reviews of that game as they come out. Battlefield 4 looks awesome. Now, I'm getting it just for the campaign, whether it's 4 hours or it takes me 7 hours to play it, whatever. I'll play the campaign and maybe replay it again. And who knows, maybe I'll try some new online gameplay. We'll see. With, whether it's Battlefield, I think I'm going to have no choice with this Need for Speed Rivals. It's kind of, I think there'll be a story and races that you can do, and then you'll also have the opportunity to see people racing throughout the race world or without the open world, and you can enter into races with them or chase after them or whatever. So it's got some interesting kind of seamless transitions between single player and multiplayer, and I think that's a good idea for those that want it. I'm still not elated about a lot of the multiplayer stuff, the Division, the Crew, a lot of these new games. It's in even Destiny. It's going to be heavy multiplayer. A lot of people just love that kind of gaming. And I think that's fine. I think if you want that, you should be able to have that. I'm looking forward actually to Wolfenstein: The New Order, and more of these epic single-player games where they just have a real adventure that you can get lost in. That, to me, is what it's all about. That's my favorite type of gaming. And again, I get friends that are just constantly nagging me, Dean, you got to really get into the online stuff. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I need to get a new mic for this new PlayStation 4 and figure that out, and a headset, whatever it takes, because I would like to do it. And especially Need for Speed Rivals and Battlefield 4, it looks really cool. Now the Assassin's Creed 4, I think it's available right now at my store. You need to go down and pick it up. I already paid for it. That looks like a really good game. I could spend 70 to 100 hours in finding all the, completing the whole game, getting every collectible and finding everything on the map. It looks like a wonderful adventure. I'm really excited about that. And it's going to be great to have that on launch day. So I don't know how long this first, day one patch thing will be on the PlayStation 4, but it's going to be a wonderful time to finally, since 2001, this has been over a decade for me since I've had a new console, so it's a big thing for me. Even though I'm not thrilled with the direction of both of the new consoles and a lot of the heavy online stuff and the cloud thing, which I'm really apprehensive about. Sony has their own variation on it coming soon, which they said will be somewhat backward compatible because you'll be able to play a lot of the old games via their own cloud thing. I forget what they call it. Something that starts with the letter G. But it looks interesting, and we'll see. But again, that's why I got my backup Xbox 360, and eventually I'm going to get a 500 gig PS3, so I can continue playing my collection of games for years to come. So I'll probably won't get a whole lot of next gen games. Going to be kind of really cautious, and I got 4 right off the bat, and that's fine. Again, I got Need for Speed Rivals, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Battlefield 4. And what the hell is the other one? Oh, and of course, Killzone Shadowfall right here, which I already did a little quick unboxing with the PlayStation 4 controller. So this is going to be the really big deal for me. I think we're going to have an epic, midnight launch kind of deal. So I'll probably film that. Again, I'll wash my truck and look forward. And this time I'm going to bring my little beach chair that I have sitting over here in my room. That was an awful long time. That GTA 5 midnight launch was incredible. I was so sore from standing for hours on end. Everyone else kind of prepared and brought chairs and everything. So this time around, I'm going to stick it out. I'll take a couple of pain pills, some Vicodin before I go, and bring my chair with me, and a soda or what have you. Maybe even a little ice chest. I'm going to really prepare this time, and I'll bring my camera and make sure I film more of that whole excursion. So it's a big thing. I feel like a little kid again. It gives me a chance to do something fun. I love interacting with all the young people at the GameStop, and they're all excited and pumped for the next-gen games. And for some of you, it'll be the Xbox One launch, and that's fine. I validate the fact that you're pumped about those games. I've been watching a lot of previews on the Xbox One and on the Xbox One games. They definitely have a great, strong game lineup. If you're into the Dead Rising game, which I'm not really into, the Forza 5 does look spectacular, although it doesn't have the great initial launch of all the cars they had on the original Forza 4. And my favorite track in Germany is not going to be in there in some of those, but maybe they'll bring those tracks back later as DLC. Who knows? So it does look good. The Forza 5 so far is the only thing that looks like it would be a draw for me. But again, I'm waiting for them to make one without the Kinect, and I'll race right down and buy one. But until that happens, no sale. But anyway, I'll have a great time watching my friends do reviews on their Xbox Ones. And I'll look forward to seeing those. So, and kind of keeping an eye on what's coming out with both games. And there are already more motion controls even creeping in on this new Battlefield 4 via the Xbox One. So I'm not thrilled about that either. I don't like the motion control direction, just for me personally. for those of you that like it, it should be an option. If you really want that, that's fine. Sony also is talking about this new Oculus Rift, kind of a concept that's going to be integrated with their new PlayStation 4 down the road. In fact, I just posted something on Facebook this morning. That looks very cool. That I'm actually really excited about, and that could be cool. So we're going to have to wait and see. It's the early stages of the consoles. We really don't know too much about them. We just have to take it all on faith. They're going to be great. They'll work out any bugs or issues they're going to have. Obviously, it was a disappointment for Watch Dogs to be pushed back. And for me personally, Drive Club. Drive Club was going to be my Forza 5 for the PlayStation 4. But that's okay. I do have a Need for Speed Rivals, which looks awesome. I've watched gameplay on the Xbox One and on the PlayStation 4. It looks fantastic. It looks quite polished. And I've seen some new Drive Club, actually pretty extended footage on that as well, from multiple different people, and it really does look good. It looks very fun, and similar to, I think, Rivals, Need for Speed Rivals, you can kind of come in and see your friends' time through ghost cars, race against them. It'll be very competitive. So, in fact, recently I've been playing the last couple nights my Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which is so much fun, and kind of in preparation for Need for Speed Rivals. I'm really pumped about that. And I downloaded all the Lamborghini packs. I'm slowly going through all of those races I never completed. And I got a couple more achievements last night on that. So I'm having a blast with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I'm hoping that the handling and the racing will be close to that. From the footage I've seen, it's more of a high-speed open road deal, kind of like Hot Pursuit. Most Wanted had more twisting, winding roads, more narrower passageways and jumps and things. And the handling, it just wasn't as good. So I'm really hoping that this new Need for Speed Rivals will kind of emulate the old school Criterion Hot Pursuit, which is a masterpiece. And if I do get that new 320 gig hard drive, you can get it with that game already installed in it, which is my plan, hopefully. So we'll see. I got to get that soon and get that, transfer a cable and transfer the data over. So I'm really pumped. I'm really excited about this midnight launch. Of course, I'll do an unboxing and all that. I'll be one of millions of other people that'll do them. So, and again, you probably won't be able to comment on my YouTube videos. I don't know, but send me a private PM. I still love to hear whether it's this video or other ones that I do. I do value your input. It means a lot to me. So if you reach out through me, again, I have links below for my Twitter and Facebook if you have those. It's a great way to PM me. Even Facebook has a really wonderful you're not limited as to how many characters or words that you can type like you are with Twitter. So I kind of like that because you can send some lengthy paragraphs and messages and pictures and everything through PMs, which is really cool. So I value all of you as my friends and fans, and really appreciate the kind comments. It means a lot to me. Appreciate you watching the show. It'll virtually be right between the PlayStation 4 launch and the Xbox One launch. It'll be my 1-year anniversary for my little Vinny Corleone 62 YouTube channel. So I really appreciate you watching. It does mean quite a bit to me. And this launch is gonna be epic. So I'd love to hear from you as to what you're looking forward to. If you're gonna hold off, and tell me why. I'm just curious to know why. Some of my friends are gonna get different consoles. Some of them will get handhelds instead, or some of there's a new Steam box that's coming. It looks interesting. It should be kind of cool. Give people a chance to play a lot of those PC games through their TV and couch, which is really what I like. That's why I don't like PC gaming. Even though I love the technology and the wonderful graphics, I like to sit on the couch where it's comfortable with a big TV and a killer surround sound. My surround sound alone is just epic. I've got a lot of fortune in it, and it really makes the games and makes it fun. And that's what I'm looking forward to, this new PlayStation 4. Just total adventure that I can get lost in night after night. So anyway, you guys, if you're getting your new consoles, congrats. I'm excited for you. I'm like a little kid. This is the first time since 2001 that I've got a new console. So I'm really pumped about it. So I just wanted to share my enthusiasm with you about this. Let me know in the comments or through private messages, however you can contact me. How you feel about this video, what you're looking forward to, if you're going to wait, why, and the games that you're looking forward to coming out. Again, we got this Wolfenstein: The New Order, which I'm really pumped about, Mad Max by Avalanche Studios, which will have an open world as large as Just Cause 2 from what I've heard, which I'm really excited about, and The Witness, which is a wonderful exclusive title for the PlayStation 4, which I cannot wait to play. That to me is worth the cost of the PlayStation 4 alone. I'm very excited about that. So there's some great games coming. I just saw this new trailer for this War Thunder, which apparently has been an existing PC game for some time. And the PlayStation 4, the graphics I've seen for it look awesome. Looks right up there with the PC. So I'm very excited about this War Thunder game, and that's another reason why I may seriously get into online gaming. Finally, they got something really immersive with World War II flights and bombing missions and fighter pilot missions that they'll have via the PlayStation 4. Very exciting time. So, again, guys, thanks for watching and enjoy those games. We're going to have a wonderful launch lineup, and the games that may not be right here initially at launch, give them a few months. They're going to come out. We're going to have probably a couple of years of steady games coming out, which I think will make having these new next-gen consoles worthwhile. So, again, thanks for watching.